Chris. Thanks for watching today. It's a Wednesday show, so it's a ranks show, and you'll notice that alongside me for the most of the show, you'll see my Week 4 Standard League ranks. I will encourage you, however, to keep checking in at harrisfootball.com because I will be updating ranks all week and into the weekend. For today's show, I thought we would use the ranks to highlight a few running backs, and a couple of them I think I'm going to have to justify where I have them ranked. But one of them, I'm pretty sure I do not. I wanted to just show you some Saquon Barkley film. He's my number 5 running back in Standard and PPR. This just in, Saquon Barkley, quite good at football. Let's take a look. Now, I heard some questions this summer. Wasn't I taking a big chance rating Barkley that high? Maybe he wasn't really that good. Didn't I express worry about Zeke Elliott being a fantasy first rounder in his rookie year a couple years ago? All true. But, Barkley was the best running back prospect I've seen on film since I've been doing this, and you're watching this. I mean, the flat-out speed to get to the corner is one thing, but I want to go back and watch the acceleration and the cut in the hole. I'm hoping the more game film you watch on our channel here, the more of a difference you'll be able to see when it comes to the truly special players. The few number of footsteps Barkley needs to get up to speed, and then the cut. This is what I'm talking about when I mean being able to cut without losing speed. When you can change your vector like that and still stay near your top speed, it gives you more time. It gives you split seconds to react and get around defenses. Hey, quick break to say thank you to BetDSI for sponsoring the YouTube show this week. I play at BetDSI. It's where I make NFL bets, and I have to say, I've said this before, the highest compliment I can pay is I don't think about it. It just sort of is there. They have the right odds. They have great customer service. They have a mobile app that works really well. The website works really well, and they take the action, and then that's it. I don't have to think about it too much. If you've been looking for a place to play the games, I don't play in huge amounts, but I do play every week, and BetDSI is where I've been playing for like 3+ years. So if you're interested, go to betdsi.com and use the promo code HarrisTube. That way they will match your deposit up to $500, gives you a little extra credit to play with. Thank you again to BetDSI for sponsoring. Okay, getting back into it with Barkley. You want to see a 2-yard gain? Take this 2-yard gain and put it in your pipe and smoke it. That is just ridiculous, right? You want to know why yards per carry is a terrible stat to judge the quality of a running back? A lot of reasons, but how about this one? To judge how special this carry is, I think you need eyeballs. Numbers aren't going to tell you. I think people think all jump cuts are the same. When you stop like that, jump sideways, and aren't jumping into an open space, but yet another defender who gets his hand on you, and you still spin away and don't lose yards in that play, holy moly. From the end zone angle on this one, look at this catch. Look at the cutting. Do you see how powerful and low to the ground he is when he moves? This is the Alvin Kamara factor. It's the thing I saw in Kamara last year. In and out of all these little moves as he's jagging around the Texans defense. Everything just looks more sudden and violent with a player like Barkley because it is. His legs are so powerful. They can send him in any direction. This is the same ridiculous suddenness you see with Kamara, except add in the fact that Barkley is 233 pounds. He's just a ridiculous player. So far, in every game, 20 touches from scrimmage, at least 100 scrimmage yards, touchdowns. He's been absolutely great, as good as advertised. You're hoping for health. You're starting him no matter what the matchup. There's no question there. And he's a good trade target. These RB1s, these true workhorses, there's nothing more scarce in fantasy right now. Trade ponies for a horse. Trade Patrick Mahomes and something to get Saquon Barkley because as long as he's healthy, he's going to be great. All right, so, okay, I didn't break a lot of new ground telling you that Saquon Barkley is good, so let's talk about David Johnson because, DJ gets you a touchdown last week, and I'll show it to you, but I don't think he's rendering a lot of his fantasy owners happy, nor is the rank that I'm giving for him. I'm still calling David Johnson the number 7 running back in fantasy, and you hate me just a little bit right now, but I'm gonna show you some film. Maybe I can convince you by osmosis. So first off, here is the touchdown. He's lined up in the backfield here. The Bears linebackers pretty much drop into zone, and Denny Trevathan ain't fast. And maybe he thinks he's supposed to have safety help, but I don't know, the Cardinals have flooded the zone. That safety help was likely never coming, and it's an easy pitch and catch for a touchdown. Alas, this hasn't been all that common yet for Johnson. You know, you can see you're getting some okay usage out of him. This is from a pass receiving perspective, but you know, that route running total, it's low. I mean, 20 routes in a game for a running back like him. You know, this in a game where the Saints are trailing, for example, Alvin Kamara will get you 35 or 40 routes. And the Cardinals have been trailing, this just in. Johnson is that good a receiver. This has been disappointing usage, that touchdown notwithstanding. But listen, the Cardinals do understand that they have to get DJ going, but when Sam Bradford's under center, defenses just aren't afraid to stack the box. How many defenders in the box on this play? Well, that would be 7. And even with a fullback, there's just no push. And this happened all afternoon on Sunday. 7 of Johnson's 12 carries came with 7 men in the box. And I grant you, especially with a fullback, you'd like DJ to be able to make some yards through this. But in this case, I mean, what's he supposed to do? The theory being hopefully maybe not having the ultra-conservative Sam Bradford in there, who defenses just don't fear. Maybe that'll help, depending on whether Josh Rosen can make plays downfield, say against Seattle this week. But you want frustrating, how about this? Rosen was actually driving Arizona late in that game after they fell behind. They got into a 3rd and 2. They're in Bears territory, and you know who that is in the backfield there carrying that ball? That's not David Johnson. That's 5'9", 205-pound Chase Edmonds. You lose yards, you throw a pick on the next play. What is your excuse, Mike McCoy? It's 3rd and 2. It's terrible personnel management. It's a terrible play call. Win or lose with your best, dude. I mean, the touchdown notwithstanding, it was a frustrating day for Johnson. And I understand why you're mad at me for his rank, but this one play, it's the thing that gives me hope. It shows the ability hasn't gone anywhere. You know, this isn't the greatest cut in history, certainly. I could go back through Johnson's film from a couple years ago and find more runs like that great Barkley run I showed you earlier when he was getting room up the middle. Here he comes to a stop. He's not exactly breaking ankles, but the acceleration up out of that cut after he's come to the stop, it's got to be pretty good if 3 Bears are all going the wrong way and 2 of them can't lay a finger on him. Be mad at me. Be mad at me for this rank. Be mad at me for considering DJ the no-brainer number 3 pick in all fantasy leagues this year. No way I thought Arizona's offense would be this bad. I really don't like Sam Bradford and never have, but I figured there'd be enough there. And Johnson was a varied enough player where no matter the situation, he could stay on the field. Be mad at me, but I think I've seen enough, and really it's the quarterback change. I'm going to give him at least one more chance at his current level. I still see the ability, and of course, we're hoping for a complete breakout and a complete change for that Arizona offense. Just breathe the way Baker Mayfield has helped Cleveland to breathe. All right, lastly, I'm going to show you some Kerryon Johnson and LeGarrette Blount film, but not for the purposes of defending my ranks of Kerryon Johnson or LeGarrette Blount, but instead by way of defending my rank of Kenyan Drake, who will play the team that the Lions just played. So this is going to start out with a series of end zone shots, and each time I'm going to show you somebody in the Patriots defensive middle, or end, or line, I guess, getting mauled. This one, well, this is going to be common. Malcolm Brown, number 90, gets double-teamed at first, then number 77 there basically completely holds him off, and Johnson weaves sort of unnecessarily through a giant hole that Malcolm Brown has vacated. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of Malcolm Brown. Here he's squared up on the center. He knows which way he's supposed to flow at the snap, but the moment the center wants to create a cutback lane, I mean, doesn't he just stop? He just stops, and that stops Brown. How about this one? Not picking on Brown here. We watched number 51, Juwan Bentley, who actually just went on IR, a rookie who was supposed to be part of the solution as a run stopper. How we doing setting the edge here against LeGarrette Blount? Chris Collinsworth was making a point of saying constantly, like, these are the biggest running lanes I've ever seen before. And you know what? He was right.
I mean, these are some of the biggest holes I've seen in the National Football League.
And here's our dude, Malcolm Brown again, double-teamed and swallowed up again, shoved aside, creating a big crease. Who knows this New England defense better than Matt Patricia, right? Clearly, from his time left over with those guys, with those Patriots, he carried with him, you know what I would do if I was ever playing against us? Run right at these defensive linemen, especially Malcolm Brown. So, I'm really not showing you this film to denigrate the effort by Kerryon Johnson. It was really good. I'm not entirely convinced yet that the Lions are a running team or that they'll be able to do this with that offensive line against a lot of other defenses. So I'm not trying to talk bad about Kerryon Johnson. I'm more trying to find some hope for Kenyan Drake. But hope was not abounding last week against Oakland. It was supposed to be a winnable matchup against the Raiders, and it was particularly discouraging to see the result, 10 total yards from scrimmage. But, you know, it's true. Drake just has not busted anything yet, hasn't shown the explosiveness that, let's face it, I drooled over on this channel last month. I called him my #1 flag player. It's been a problem. The Miami interior of that offensive line hasn't been good now that Josh Sitton is out for the year. Based on these numbers, I certainly understand why your faith could be wavering. But I've got one more chance here, don't I? I got that Miami running game going up against a pretty soft New England defensive line. Now, I will never put it past Bill Belichick to fix this and to come up with some solution, and suddenly this doesn't look like such a good matchup. But given that I saw Drake pretty much eviscerate the same Patriots team at the end of last year and put down some of the more explosive plays of his NFL career, I'm going to choose to believe he can do it again. I'm still going to consider Kenyan Drake an RB2. I'm calling my shot this week. I think we give him one more, and if it doesn't happen, listen, I have to admit my defeats and try to regroup. Frank Gore didn't do too much either against the Raiders, and that's my hope, that you find big running lanes against the Patriots, and Drake finally has the breakout game we've been looking for.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.